When we have a conversation about education these days, we all can join. We all have a piece of the puzzle. We all have our own experiences that we bring to the table. Today, I invite you to take those experiences and put them to the side so that we can have a new conversation. So we can learn about a new landscape, because education is that, a changing landscape. And here's what we know. We know that a child's education, their formation as a human, begins long before they can put on a backpack or write their name. It goes beyond the classroom walls. It's about the experiences they have before they get to school and after they leave school. And it's often those experiences that we as community members can impact and have a voice in how we want those quality experiences to be. And so today we're going to go a little deeper to understand what that looks like. What happens when a child has access to a quality education, experiences, and enrichment? And what happens when they don't? What are the different pieces of a quality education? And how can I be a part of that solution? So let's define quality education and what that means to you. How do we talk about that framework and how we measure what quality looks like to us?
Yeah, so learning and education can happen anywhere. A lot of times people put those parameters of the school building being the place where kids learn. And really what we see is there are a variety of things in the community where kids can engage in learning. They can do it in the home. They can do it with their friends. Any way that is helping kids learn new skills and new things is really creating that environment of learning that helps build those educational muscles that kids need in the classroom. I would say probably the three things that stand out to me is we want inclusive environments. We want to make sure that they feel like they're part of something and that they belong. They want to see people that look like them. They want to see teachers that look like them and really accept them for how they show up. Another is just individualized instruction. Making sure that we're focusing on what that child needs and creating that pathway individually for that child. And really the third is equity, making sure that kids have access to those quality experiences is really an important part of quality education.
And let's be honest, not every child has access to this quality education that we're talking about. What are the barriers and obstacles that you've seen that children and families are facing today?
What we're seeing is that the schools that they are in are under-resourced. They're not given the same resources as or have the same resources as schools in other communities. So not only are we seeing that those students don't have access to those advanced learning opportunities, but we also know in those same communities there's a lack of resources for that out-of-school time. Those enrichment opportunities, those additional learning spaces, and families being able to provide access to those opportunities as well.
So what do we know about children that do have access to this quality education and these enrichment opportunities during out-of-school time and before they even get to school when they're babies and young infants?
What we do see is when kids have access to those opportunities that they tend to have an upward trajectory and pathway. What we see is when kids are prepared and when they have those resources, they are meeting those developmental milestones. They're meeting those cognitive milestones, reading at third grade, math in middle school being markers of education and educational success, which gives them access to higher education, better paying jobs. Those are the types of successes that we're seeing when kids have all the resources that they need. And those kids that don't, really, that achievement gap widens. There is research out there that shows when students don't have access to educational opportunities or out of school time opportunities, that they can actually fall behind, especially during the summer months where there might be some great opportunities to do great things as a family or as, with your friends in the community. If those things don't happen, kids will fall behind.
Okay, so can you go a little bit deeper? Talk about the framework that we use to talk about a child's development.
Yeah, the YMCA developed what we call the Youth Development Roadmap, and what that does is it focuses in on specific milestones that children should reach, starting with birth and going really to their post-secondary experience. Looking at the whole child, it's not just about cognitive, which education you tend to default to cognitive. Those physical aspects and those social emotional aspects are equally as important, whether it's learning to play with our friends and being nice to each other, or whether it's making sure that I can read by 3rd grade. These are all milestones that we really encourage our team and our communities to support kids in their journey.
Together, we can close the achievement gap by being involved, being informed. Be a mentor, get involved in a child's life today, and support organizations like the YMCA that provide enrichment opportunities that are crucial for a child's success. Next time, we're going to continue this conversation by talking about racial isolation.